Welcome back to the Folklore Hiking Stick Workshop. Today's a bit of a disjointed day in the workshop, but I'm still getting stuff done. I'm down in the woodshed getting another batch of 6 or 7 hiking sticks ready to put up for sale, so I'm cracking on with those. I'm also in here. I've got to get some sticks ready to go off to a tourist information centre at Tavistock. Now, Tavistock sits in Devon, and it sits in what is basically the gateway to Dartmoor. There's several towns, Oakhampton, Tavistock. They're called gateway towns, and they're towns you can, from there, access Dartmoor to walk, hike, or just enjoy the open surrounding countryside and tours. They are very historic. They're all linked to mining or farming, agricultural things that happened up on the moors and the surrounding area. So they're very interesting towns to actually go and visit in themselves. And most people use them if they're here on holiday as a base before they go and explore the wider moors. Dartmoor is a national park, so it is inundated with places to go and things to do and see. But yeah, that's not a sales pitch. It's a nice part of the country down here in England. Now, coming over to the workbench, I've got these 2 roe deer antlers. I'm going to square them off, and I'm going to put threaded bar and get them ready basically for me to do a couple hiking sticks. They're not quality pieces to make them the main feature. They're going to be ornamental on top of a stick, and I'm probably going to do one aimed at kind of like a witchcraft folklore theme with a wood spirit coming out of the stick, and then loads of artwork representing that kind of theme. And then I'll probably do another one with a wood spirit and woodland animals. But so I've got those to get ready. Like I said, I've got to square them off because they're of no use to me like that, and get a threaded bar sat in there. So I'll be using epoxy till I decide what sticks I'm going to use. I also did a bit of a carving here on a, as you can see, offcut of a hiking stick. It's substantial gauge, and what I'm doing is I'm beginning to carve and rough out a wood spirit. This is going to be an ornamental topper on a staff. So yeah, I've got a fair bit of work to do, but you can see it's beginning to come to shape, and I've got to sand it all out and get it looking a little bit more how I want it to look. But I've got to define the beard, and I'm thinking I might actually define the outside of the face a bit more. And obviously I've got to clean up the hair, the moustache, and I've got to define this beard a little bit more. So yeah, that's a project, but this is a project I'm doing in conjunction, or when I've got a few spare moments, to everything else. Oh, this has been kicking around for a while. I cut it off a stick. I wanted the actual stick because the stick was absolutely gorgeous and it suited the customer. But I didn't throw this away because I think I'll make this a topper on a hiking stick in itself. And yeah, I'll use this, and the stick I do will have a woodland themed, and it'll be covered in woodland animals. So yeah, that's not been wasted. It's been saved. But yeah, this is just an interesting footnote on what's happening in here, you know, in amongst doing everything else. Well, I'm holding a piece of deer antler, and I was gifted this a while back, and I will try and upload some photos of its original condition. It's been sat here in my workshop on the floor, kicking around, and I've been saying I'm going to get this restored, cleaned, and, you know, brought back to life. And the idea was, it was given to me because the gentleman said, oh, I've got a piece of antler that's been kicking around at home, you know, just chucked to one side. Would you like it? Would you be able to make some hiking sticks? But as you can see, as a hiking stick maker, there's going to be very little opportunity out of this particular antler for me to utilise or make it worthwhile cutting it up to use it for hiking sticks. Now, what am I going to do with it? Well, I think you can probably guess. It's going to go on my living room wall. You do have to, you know, if you want to source one and you don't know the right contacts, you will have to pay a bit of money to get hold of a deer antler. I've been giving it. It's just took me about an hour of my time to clean it up. And like I said, I'll try and upload the photos, because you have to see the photos to appreciate what it was like before I finished it. As you can see, I've managed to bring it right back. And how have I done that? Basically, it was cleaning it to get rid of all the green. And after I'd done all the cleaning, basically, I put stain very lightly and done several coats, and I kept taking it off with a steel wool to get the look. And then I boiled linseed oil it, which I'd thinned down. And it's brought it right back, almost like it had been shed yesterday. But the original condition of it, you probably would have just cut it up and threw it to the dogs to chew on. But yeah, pleased with that. That's just something I've been doing in amongst everything else. I rescued the last 2 plums off the plum tree. I'm going to eat those in a minute. I've been a bit lax this year, and the squirrels have decimated my fruit trees. They've taken a lot of it, and at this very moment you might just see another culprit just sat there in between the actual branches on the actual wooden fence. A pigeon. I didn't realise pigeons will actually take plums and cherries themselves, but they do. I've been lax this year. Like I said, you've got to get up first light, and with squirrels I've had to take them in the past. So I'm going to just eat these before cracking on. The reason I'm pushing hard this morning to get stuff done while the rest of the family are very slowly getting themselves together is quite simply because I got a medical appointment at 3 this afternoon, which is in another couple towns away from here. So I've got that, and I've also got to make the delivery run to the tourist information centre. So basically I'm running from here on Bodmin Moor all the way out to Dartmoor to do a drop off, then all the way back to the Torridge district in the other side of Devon, heading towards North Devon. So basically I'm doing a big dog leg all the way back, pretty much covering a vast track of the southwest. But that's what it's like these days with healthcare and everything like that. You know, quite often it's not on your doorstep like it used to be. You either have to travel for your medical appointments or your dentists. So in any case, I'm going to eat these, try to get some stuff done before I got to start thinking about getting shaved, cleaned up and showered, because hey, the doctor doesn't want to see me in this state. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the colour of that. You can't beat your homegrown. Everybody says it wherever you go, but there is a certain aspect of truth to it. There's been no chemicals. The only thing I've done is put a bit of the ash from the log burner around the bottom of the tree. That helps stop insects, and on top of that it helps fertilize the ground. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Look at the color of that, and it's so it's dripping. There's actually juice coming out. Right, I'm just going to size some hiking sticks up and cut them to length. These are all going to be 120 centimeters, because I'm not sure if most of these may end up on a selling site, but that's still to be determined yet. I've still got to craft them. But in any case, some people still keep asking me why 120 centimeters is my golden length. That's quite simply down to courier costs. If I'm selling a stick for £25, by the time I add my courier costs, which if it's at below 120 centimeters or dead on 120 centimeters, it's around £3.70, which is quite a an okay price for somebody to pay. If I go above 120 centimeters, I've then got to use a different courier, and the price severely jumps up to roughly about £12, I think it is. So that's a big ask for somebody who's paying for £25 for one of your sticks to suddenly chuck £12 on top. Most people will choose the smaller option of £3.70, and a 120 centimeter stick is perfectly okay for the average person. Obviously you have to size yourself and get yourself measured to make sure it will fulfill your needs, but for the average person it's more than enough. If I'm dealing with customers who've contacted me through my Facebook page or through my Google search engine, by and large, if they're getting some, you know, depending on the materials, the work and what they want engraved and the amount of time I've got to put into a stick, they're usually happy to pay that £12, because the value of the stick will be negotiated with them and based on the criteria I've talked about, and that will be what dictates whether they're going to be happy to pay that extra £12 for that increased length. But that's generally how it works, and that's the reason why 120 centimeters here in the UK is usually the going size for the cheaper end of the stick market, because quite simply courier costs. Right, I've just rushed into the workshop and I've got the order made up for the Tourist Information Centre, and I'm about to head on over there. I'm going to go in, have a quick shower, shave, get ready. Like I said, it's all a bit of a rush and I got a fair drive to do, but hey, I've got no choice. This is how it's going to work out today. So that's my completed order and I'm going to make the delivery now. A fine array or selection of sticks. There you go, got some stripped ones there. A bee on that one, songbird, bird of prey. You can see the name of the town, wood burnt onto the sticks there. Hare gazing at the moon, Highland cow, badger, traditional stag and traditional fox there. But yeah, a nice selection there. And it'll keep them going for a little while till they place the next order. Right then, I'm heading over to Tavistock and I've just found out I've got to put fuel in the car. I've run the car out of fuel. That's extra time. But my doctor's is still in an old town I used to live in, just up from Bude, where I do a lot of surfing, and that's a town called Holsworthy. My doctor's is still there. I haven't changed it over to where I'm living to now. So hence the reason I'm having to make this big journey once I've dropped the sticks off all the way back to my doctor's. But yeah, I've got to leave the confines and safety of Cornwall, cross the border into the heathen lands of Devon, which is in England. So Right, I'm heading down through town to the Tourist Information Centre, and I think it used to actually be Tavistock's court way back in the day. So yeah, we're going to drop these off, and I've got to make tracks. It's raining, I didn't expect that. I've had to cover the sticks with the kids' car blanket, they're not going to be happy. So every time I do come here to drop off sticks, I find myself walking through the Tourist Information Centre. It is free and it's worthwhile just coming here just for the exhibition in itself, and it gives you a solid grounding about Tavistock and the surrounding area, like I said. And it's very informative and the staff are very helpful. These are obviously the prison cells, and they look a bit cleaner than what they would have been back in the day. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, but I was conscious of time, and I thought to myself, hey, I've got to start moving and getting out of here. Now, on the way out, you can go up these stairs to what would have been the dock to into the courtroom. So yeah, people walking up these stairs obviously had a lot to worry about back in those days, because obviously capital punishment was still a thing, and the sentences were extremely severe. Right, I've dropped the sticks off, handed the invoice in and sorted all that out. Had a quick walk through the visitor centre and came up through the old courtroom. It was a courtroom. Now I've got to go to my medical appointment, and once I get back I've got to sort the family out, do all the domestic chores and things I've got to do, and then after that it'll probably be getting on for like 7. I got to get down in that woodshed and finish off what I started earlier. Yeah, you can kind of begin to fathom how a lot of my days go. So yeah, I got to crack on. Right then guys, you can quite evidently see I've made it back home, and I'm down in the woodshed and I'm continuing to finish off stripping the sticks of bark. I do enjoy it, but it is a long and tedious job, and it's just something I've got to do for the style of sticks that I produce. And yeah, you do have to watch how you do it, because you don't want to get repetitive strain injury. I do try to use different muscles and different you know, I tend to share the load around both arms, because it is a lot of work just on one arm. But yeah, I'm back here. The day is disappearing fast now. I've done what I've needed to do inside with the family, and I'm just finishing off out here. I've got to get some results for today. It's been good actually getting some sticks basically sold and out into the public, but like everything, unless I'm here producing, I don't have nothing to sell. Right, I'm going to discuss with you some issues surrounding drilling holes in hiking sticks, and that is basically blowing out the back of your work when you're doing the lanyard hole. And I'll show you an example of that, and another example which is a lot better. That's basically you're pushing harder on the drill than it's actually cutting through the wood, so when it comes out the opposite end, it basically blows the back out, and then that creates a lot of work for yourself in that respect. So there you go. Obviously this is the rough. It's obviously gone in there. I've got to straighten that hole out, but you can see here I've blown the back out, which means I've now got to take away a piece of wood to get that back, which isn't a problem for me, because I'll make that a feature, because I'll do the same as what I've done here, and I'll actually create an inverted hole like that. So I've got a piece here, and we're going to drill this, and I'm going to do it correctly and as it should be done. Even if you've got a really sharp drill bit, you can still blow the back out by being too forceful. Let the drill do the work, don't push. There, get it locked in. Right, I'm going to go gently to start with, just to get the pilot hole. From here, I'm going to drill now at a constant pressure and let the drill do the work. I'm not going to force it, so when it comes out the back, it blows open a piece of wood. So there you go, you can clearly see the difference there. That's just the odd little splinter which will sand out relatively easy, where I'm going to have to reshape that just by being too forceful. Right, I'm going to clean these holes up now, so let's get to it. Right, I've now cleaned that hole up as well, and all it is now is basically to sand it and clean it all up so it all comes back nice. So when you're shaping the crown on your handle, it's always best to come up and over rather than out over the work. I'll demonstrate that, because yet again you can split and bust the wood out by going out over the edge. It's always best to come up and flow into the work. Right, I've got a handle here. I'm just going to shape it. This is a bit extreme, but it's one I use to take a lot of wood off. This will happen, you know, in some cases even using just heavy grade sandpaper or really fine files, but let's just have a look. And as I'm working the wood there, you can see it's beginning to splinter the wood. So yeah, this is a little bit of an extreme case, but by taking your file over the edge like that will help split the wood back out. So it's always better to work around in this motion like that. I'll demonstrate. I'll clean this edge up. Yeah, you've got a danger of taking big chunks out of the actual head or the crown that you're trying to shape on your hiking stick. And as you can see, it's beginning to happen here. Beginning to lose bits there. Right. As you can see, it's already cleaning up. I'm not going to blow the back of the wood out or take chunks out, even using an aggressive file. So here's the batch I'm working on at the moment, and you can see I'm pretty much ready to start shaping them and shaping the tips, getting the tips on after I've obviously done the final sanding and getting the wood polished. And then it'll be into the workshop for wood burning and the finishing products and everything like that. It's just a cycle, you just got to keep going at it. I am looking to move on to some different types of sticks. I do enjoy doing that, but this is my bread and butter. Just the basic generic hiking stick like this. Right then guys, I'm back in the workshop. I've got those 7 hiking sticks to a point I'm happy to start shaping and sanding them. I'll install the copper tips tomorrow as well, and the next day probably the wood burning and finishing, and they'll be done, and I'll get the next batch of 7 or 6 going, and I'm really pushing them through hard now. I've got customers that want to discuss hiking sticks with me, or the aspects they want included on them, custom orders, so that's got to happen tomorrow. And yeah, I still haven't done those deer antlers. I want to get threaded bar inserted. That might be a video in its own right, a small little video where you see me do that. They'll be left to set and go off, and once I've selected the sticks I want them to attach them to, I'll probably bring you along on that at some point. But yeah, a productive day, although you know, a large portion of it was driving around Cornwall and Devon, but I had a medical appointment and I had to get some sticks off to the Tourist Information Centre, which wasn't a dead loss because obviously I'm being paid for them. So, you know, it's all been a win-win today. So thanks guys for coming along. I really do appreciate your support on this channel, and in particular, I suppose, you know, some of you guys are only here for the workshop, crafting and stick making, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me while I explore other parts of my channel filmmaking. So thanks very much, take care, stay safe, and hope to catch you guys on the trail.